この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight episode 7, which brings us right to the halfway point. Like exactly the halfway point until we start episode 7, then we're past it. Sweet, because 6.5, you know. Last time on Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight, we focused on Kaoruko and Futaba, and their relationship. People have seemingly pretty mixed opinions about the last episode. I thought it was pretty good. There are definitely some things that you can hone into about, like, the way that it ends, and whether Kaoruko really got what was coming to her, and whether she actually learned anything, or is just being enabled by Futaba to continue being the entitled brat that she is. But, at the very least, I thought it worked pretty well. It's not like a full turnaround, Kaoruko is now the best person or anything, but she figured out a reason to be motivated, and that's at least something beyond the pure entitlement, just give me your role thing that she had going on before. Beyond that, it was a pretty nice episode. It was good, examining what is in the context of the show, like our prototypical duo of Otokuyaku and Musumeyaku. Between the two of them, it's pretty perfect and spot on. Shows us sort of a foundation for what the expectations for a relationship like that will be. And I'm wondering how that will come to bear on, like, any of the other relationships in the show and how they end up playing out. But by far and away, I think the most interesting thing about the previous episode was the stinger, was the little 15-second thingamajig that we got at the very end, which revealed both the episode title, which is very different from any of the previous episode titles, and some little bits and pieces of weirdness that made me think a lot, but I don't really know what I thought about because, like, there's not enough to go off of. It's just really interesting, and it makes me think that I'm right on the money when I say that in episode 7, as we approach the midpoint of this series, we're going to have a big change up. I don't know what the fuck it's going to consist of, but what we have is an episode titled, well, first off, it's interesting. Somebody on the staff obviously has some kind of terrible grudge against yellow fruit because they titled the episode Die Banana. Okay, all jokes aside, it's going to be called Die Banana, or Die Banana. And we saw some scenes of Nana herself with some scripts and other material chillin' in the audition location with Kirin the giraffe there and them seemingly kind of discussing stuff, just like chatting. So, got a couple of thoughts about that. One, this is the most far out there, and I don't think it's legit. I think this is an unreasonable assumption. Nana kind of looks like the giraffe. She's got the same eye color, and she's yellow, and the giraffe is kind of yellow. That's kind of ridiculously thin to form anything off of, but I think it's interesting to keep in mind. She is visually somewhat similar to the giraffe. It would not surprise me at all if she has some kind of deeper relationship with the giraffe, whatever the fuck that ends up actually meaning. She's also really tall. So those are all things. Then there's the fact that she's not a stage girl anymore. I mean, she kind of is, but now she's turning into a backstage girl, right? And what does that allow us to do? Well, it allows us to see behind the curtain, right? Something happens with, like, groupies and stagehands and people who work behind the stage of, or behind the scenes of performing arts and in the entertainment industry. You hear the same kinds of things from, like, camera operators and rigging people and like lights people, stuff like that, because they end up, they're not part of the, like, on-stage crew, but they end up understanding what goes on behind the scenes and seeing the people behind the actors, the reality behind the play. But they also get a picture of the inner workings of things, right? They're the people who create the stages, who write the scripts. They have a pivotal role in determining how the actual play plays out and what it consists of and what's available for the actors on stage. They're foundational and really, really important. So in context of the show, Banana has been interesting, and the places where she shows up have been interesting. She seems to show up a lot around the auditions. She shows up a couple of times by the elevators to, like, give food to people, and almost to give them, like, advice that kind of consoles them in a way that reveals that she knows about the auditions and maybe knows more than she lets on. So there's that. And then there are the lines that she says when she's talking about being a backstage girl, and more than that, when she's talking to all the actresses about their auditions. The way we focus on those particular lines makes it seem like she knows more than she's letting on again. There's something going on with Nana where she knows more than she should, and it seems to have some kind of link up to the fact that she's becoming a backstage girl and is essentially getting a peek behind the curtain and a view into the script and the props and the things that make the auditions and the stage and the reviews and all of this stuff actually work. How much does she actually know is my question. Like, is she being led along by Kirin as a part of this and being just a cog in the machine? Is she actually instigating portions of it and determining the flow of these battles? I have no idea, but I'm interested to find out, and I feel like there are twists coming, and I don't know how to predict them. There's just no way. But it feels like a non-focused episode, obviously, because that's going to be the title of the episode. I don't know what other things are going to come to bear on this, and it's just going to be something we're going to have to watch and find out. So, let's do that. I've got Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight Episode 7 up and ready to go. I am once again, as usual, using the Ripple subs, thanks Gale, and I'm using the no Romaji versions. Oh, speaking of which, when I did end up talking to Gail and some other people about the translation of the final, the title of the previous episode, Two Flowers on the Stage, and the whole, like, all the different things that we could say about that, the Hanamichi and all that stuff, and there was some general agreement that, like, yeah, there are some other ways that we could translate it. Cool. But that's kind of neither here nor there. We've got an episode to watch. I can see the very first frame of the episode. It is a blank white screen that says 99th Seisho Festival, day of the performance. I don't recall ever having like a time card or like location card to designate a particular time. So this is interesting. A time and location, right? This is interesting because we've seen the 99 Seisho Festival multiple times, right? We've seen portions of the performance, portions of things, people getting ready for it, all kinds of stuff from that. But we've never had a frame like this that like clearly delineates that that's what we have to look at, which is interesting. It makes me wonder if we're going to be like jumping through different events or like following a bunch of events from Banana's perspective and finding a new perspective on them that the stage girls just don't share. And then through that, maybe understanding why she wants to become a backstage girl. I don't know. Anyway, we've got the episode up and ready to go. It's sitting at 0 seconds, Ripple subs, no Romaji version. I can see the first frame. There will be two versions of this reaction video. You can find a picture-in-picture version with the video up there, linked in the description, and a timer-based version up on YouTube. If you would like to do a syncy thing and sync up your own copy of this episode with the timer-based version, you are welcome to do so. Just get your copy ready because the beep beep timer to count you down will be coming at you now. Silent. Okay. Okay. Totally familiar. Nothing weird. Yet. Alright, fair enough. Green of jealousy. Red of passion? Arrogance. Okay. Gears and cogs. Okay, so she delivers essentially the penultimate line. And that's the scene that we've seen. Except we saw it with Hikari, and yeah, okay. Okay, okay, okay. And Banana. What changes? Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh, okay. Joint celebration. We've got... Wait. I'm pausing. I'm pausing. I'm gonna wait for the next, like, cut that changes colors, and then I'm gonna pause. Because I gotta talk. Alright, framed center stage. None of these are our major characters yet. Oop, up. Mm-hmm. And it all peters out. Okay. Okay. Okay, statue keeps holding in backgrounds. Anatamo. Okay, helping everybody. Uh-huh. Everybody loves Nana. She made banana snacks, yeah. Aww. Oh, that wasn't a thing before? And hair and literally everything about her. Alright, and the nickname was made. Huh? What? Okay. Okay. I'm jumping at everything, man. I'm scared. I don't know why. I feel like shit's gonna go so wrong. Of course. Of course. Which makes me think that she's gonna forget about it, which is crazy, but okay. 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 Why was the statue in so many of those frames? Why was Nana constantly framed wrong so that she was facing off screen instead of facing toward the open space on screen? What was that? What was that about? And why the multiple leg shots? What was that? All right, and what is going to make her compete? Or will she only compete in the past and not in the present? And I still don't know if the time fuckery is legit or if we're just playing with me. Urgh. Okay. Recording everything. Is there more of a reason behind the recording than... Okay, and we're leaving Banana alone. What does Banana get up to when she's alone? That is the question, is it not? Uh-huh. Who is researching Kirin? We're pausing again. I'm waiting for another color change. Nice. Yeah, so I cut there. Go check it out. Recording. Yeah. Ah, I see. Okay. Gotta have the shiny new glasses. Hey? Huh? Was that not what normally happens in the loop? We're still framing her like that. Why are we doing that? We're gonna talk so much about that. What the fuck? Now she's framed in the same place where Karuko was. Or no, where he, yeah. Alright. Yeah, just knowingly sitting there. Alright. Hello, Venus. Hello, Venus. Uh-huh. I still remember it like it was yesterday. It won't be. Right. Right. We're talking about the two that left. I see. Okay. Right. Sure. And an empty locker. Why did they all just turn to face the camera? What the fuck? Holding back to remain the banana that everyone loves. I will never forgive you. Fond memories? That's the framed one. Uh-huh. A desire to recreate instead of improving? It changes. But it won't be the same Starlight, yeah. Yeah. Things change. Alright, class rep. Ah. Of course. Yeah. Love tall places. That's the one that she needs. Right. Okay, it's white. Here we go. Here we go, baby. Let's do it. What the fuck is... Okay. What the fuck? Hi, Kirin. Sure. I guess. I guess. Mm-hmm. You've said that before. Mm-hmm. Why is it all fucked? Why is it all fucked? The stage will respond. Okay. That is ominous. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. That stage. She wants the 99th. The 99th, the one that she's already... Whoa, 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 whoa. Did she strike a Faustian bargain with Kirin? She chose that stage. The when is the important part. But what's the cost? You can't go beyond it. Right? So she's trapping herself and everybody in the loop in the 99th? Wow, she unleashed herself and she is better. Silenced. Absolutely no emotion. Completely mechanical. What the fuck? Uh-huh. Yeah, you seem... Okay, and you obtained your eternal lead, right? Uh-huh. What the fuck did you give up to get to this point, banana? Waiting for timestamp, but we know where we are. Yep, we are before the first performance. We already did this. How do you know my name? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But she didn't forget. Okay. Never fucking Neverland. Whoa, yeah, alright, never have to step out. Yep, okay. Cool, frozen and protected. Sure, but also not growing. Whoa. And we have the conversation again here. As we do every fucking year. She knows everything that happens. And that's why she became a backstage girl. But yeah, there's no victory in this frozen world. Holy shit, dude. Changed answer? Nope. Madoka Magica? Holy fuck yeah. It's energy. Kind of. You just want to bear witness. The unpredictability is the important part. Ah, it's Hikari's blade. A challenge, a new challenger. And she enters. She's the wrinkle. This is the first day, isn't it? Again, still really hot. Okay. Expected behavior. This is the unexpected, though. This is the change. This has never happened in a loop before. What? Oh my god. What is disconnecting? I don't know. Do they? Oh no. Oh no. Holy fuck. Book in center stage. That'll do. Wait. Wait. Okay, we're delineating time again. And that. Is that a timeline? No, because nothing moves on it. I was thinking we were adding like bits or something for events. I do still think it's meant to evoke a timeline though. Okay, I got a weird off the wall thing going on here. Is there time fuckery happening? I don't know how it would work, but we're getting timelines, dude. Whenever you get a timeline, time fuckery should be your first thought. Is Nana a time travel? Okay, no, that's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid. Okay, we'll just watch. I'll merge it together. Okay, that'll work. Banana's always had lots of pictures and reminders of the 99th festival, right? She's always had that in her room. We've always had those images on her wall, right? The post, it's like almost too much, right? It's almost obsessive. It's too much, right? And so is the recording everything. They're innocent behaviors on the surface, right? There's nothing like weird about them. There's nothing that would freak you out. But when you combine them with there, I won't forget about this play about the 99th Seisho Festival Starlight. Yeah, when you combine those things, this line in the past, the fact that we're time jumping. But it's not that we're time jumping, it's that we're time jumping and we're being very clear about when things happened. Like it matters. And then we combine that with her recording everything. And the sort of ominous shot that we start off the recording with, right? This is off. There's something weird about it, right? Everybody leaving her alone with Juna. All of these empty, isolating shots. Really distancing her from everybody else. Recording. I can't let any precious moments get away. Okay. I think she's forgetting things. I think she forgets everything. And I want to go back to the previous episode to look at the stinger again. I'm sorry to do this in the middle of the reaction, but I have to because I'm like freaking out here. Okay, end of the last episode. There's one line that she says that I think nails this all together. That line. What's going wrong with the performance this time around? Is she Groundhog Daying? Steins Gating? Dude, it makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, it doesn't, but it also does, doesn't it? She's continually brought back maybe a year, I don't know. And she's continually trying new things to try and upset the cycle, right? To break out, maybe? But she forgets everything that she does over the course of it, so she has to record things and leave notes to herself and stuff so that she can remember, so that she can try to fix the performance so that the cycle can be broken, right? Because for some metaphysical reason, the 100th festival matters. It has to be right. It has to be just right in some particular way. And her, as number 3, being a part of the auditions, in this iteration, she has figured out that that's one of the key things that she needs to change in order to actually manage the thing, right? It's gone wrong in previous loops, partly because she was a part of it. And so she's become a stage girl making this weird decision that nobody else understands for reasons that only she understands because she knows the consequences if she doesn't. This is crazy. I'm so dubious. I doubt myself completely on this. I'm reading into things that may not be there. But I've been trying to figure this out all week. And suddenly I got a couple of new puzzle pieces, and I think they click. I think Banana is looping. I don't know how long. I don't know whether it's the full year, but I think she's looping. Her knowledge of where people are going to be, her ability to find people, her ability to say exactly the right things that our characters need to hear at the exact right moments. It's too much. It's too much. All right, let's continue. I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out a little bit. Okay. To where the light leads. Okay. Cool. Holy shit, this episode? Can we just take a second and let that sink in for a minute? Whoa? Whoa. Whoa? We're fucking Groundhog Daying it. Whoa? Whoa. What are our key points? How can we track time? How can we track the number of loops? Can we? Is there a way to track the number of loops? Can we look at the notebook that she has and see how beat up it is? Or, her phone? Or, any of the scenes that are repeated that we've seen before? Can we track it in any way? Pristine and perfect? Not pristine. Not perfect. Yeah, we get 2 things that indicate how long the loop is gone that I can find so far. One is her notebook, her script. It keeps getting more and more beat up. We see it here, pristine, and then number 6, not pristine, and then 9, it's super not pristine. Just getting more and more beat up. Okay, but there's another thing that makes it even worse, even more. Way more. Okay, here, yeah. This shot also demonstrates time. What's missing? I'll show you. That's missing. That tree fucking grew and then died. Banana has spent equivalent of decades reliving the same year. so that she can relive the 99th Starlight and never grow older. So that she can reclaim that dazzling thing that she's obsessed with. Never fucking Neverland. Oh my god, there's so much here. There's so much here. The recontextualization of the meaning of eternal lead for banana. Remaining the banana that everyone loves. Obsession with repetition and maintaining the status quo. Avoiding change. Holding on to the past. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I gotta let this one settle. I gotta think. I gotta think and think. I gotta think and think. And I gotta go through it again because I know I missed things. I know I did. With the pausing and just the being so shocked at certain things. I know I missed stuff that's important. Fuck, I might just have to rewatch the episode. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna rewatch the episode right now, and I'll be back in a minute to talk about it and get my thoughts and notes and stuff in order. I should have just let it run, but there were just thoughts that I had to get out as soon as I had them. Oh fuck. Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. This is whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Gotta find all those the way that Banana is framed so frequently. It's framing that speaks to looking towards something that doesn't exist. Right? It's so good. I have to think about what it really means though. It happens throughout the intro. Almost every time that we frame Nana in a shot. Let me find her. Come on. Where is she? Anywhere. Come on. Like this. This is wrong for a reason. Like this is technically wrong. Let me look up what the term is called. It's called like leading room. Yeah, lead room. Or nose room. Yep. Yeah, lead room. Okay. Yeah, well-composed shots leave space in the direction the subject is facing or moving. This is just like a general principle. In the same way that I talk fairly frequently about like rule of thirds. These are like the most basic foundational things. Rule of thirds, headroom, which I I fail at in all of my videos because there's not enough space above my head. Because I put the subs at the bottom, right? So I don't want to be down here on the lower half of the screen and have this headroom above me. But technically, framing me correctly, I would want to be framed right here and down like this, right? A little bit more, so the eye line is closer to the center of the video even. But that's not what I do because the subs go on the bottom, right? It's just the way it is. But when you frame a character looking to the side, you frame them like this. You frame them with looking room, right? So there's distance ahead of where they're looking. It doesn't look like they're looking off into a void. Multiple times throughout the episode, we shoot Nana like this. Intentionally. To the point where it's like, why are you doing this? For a reason. She's looking at something that can never be obtained. A future that never comes as well. Fascinating. Venus looms. It's a cool shot. And the Ikuhara-ism becomes everything. Suddenly there's this metaphysical layer to everything that's going on. The power that can be obtained can be shaped. We have an actual demonstration of the power of becoming top star, right? I think that's actually one of the things that would have been really easy for me to overlook if I hadn't just thought of it. We have an actual representation of that. Up until this point in the story, we have nothing to go off of to actually trust in Kirin or this system, that it's not just a big ploy, that it's not just a big Faustian bargain bullshit thing that does something awful, right? And it still might be. But at the very least, there's real power here. Whether that real power will actually be used the way that you want it to, whether it will have the consequences that you expect, whether it's always a devil's bargain, and whether whatever wish you make is twisted against you, that remains to be seen. But it definitely seems to be the case with Nana here, because her wish gets twisted. And that's something that's really interesting, and it's never shown to us in text. It's only in subtext and in voice actor performance and in framing that shows us that Nana has destroyed herself by choosing this goal, by choosing to stagnate and hold on to something. She's completely sacrificed the joy of creation and all of the initial things that made her love the initial Starlight itself in order to repeat it and maintain it and hold on to it, but then it stagnates. It becomes a frozen world, and immediately makes me think of the episode of Penguindrum, because frozen world, right? It makes perfect sense. A world unchanging. But that's what she wants. She wants this. At first. But she's lost all emotional qualities, right? It's just on loop. It's a repetition. And then that... How does that interact with the context of this being semi-critical of the Takarazuka Revue? Well, any stage performing troupe repeats performances, right? Does the same play again, but anytime the same play is done again, it's always a different performance. It's always different. Usually there are staff changes and stuff and cast changes, but even if there aren't, it's not the same. Is it like a big thing for audience members to get particularly obsessed about a particular troupe's performance of a particular play, and then just be like, oh, the 1998 version of blank play was the best by far, and no one will ever match it? If only we could have that back. If so, maybe that's a layer of, like, criticism here. But I don't know. Okay, but the repetition on stages makes sense. Makes good sense. The desire to hold on to that also makes sense. The internal conflict for Nana is super interesting. The initial conflict, where she, more than anything, well, like, let's think about listing out Nana's priorities as we see them, as we know them. More than anything, her biggest priority before the reveal of the possibility of getting Starlight back, of getting the 99 Starlight back, her biggest priority was remaining the banana that everybody loves, right? Remaining the warm and nutritious and whatever person that everybody is friends with and cares about. Okay. Then she's told by Maya. Maya confronts her, recognizing that Nana is holding back her talent and might be a worthy rival for her. And tells her that she'll never forgive her if she's doing that, if she's holding back her talent in order to maintain that persona. And so that's what she does, but only after finding out that there's the possibility of regaining Starlight. Okay. Those are her main priorities. Repeat it. Hold on to it. And keep it the same. Keep it safe. That fear of the unknown is powerful here, right? Because, well, it's obviously irrational, right? The next year's play could be better. It could be greater. It could be even more glimmery. It could be more dazzling, right? But instead we hold on to what was, and we can never improve, can never grow. Whoa. What's up with the scene where all of the side girls look at the camera? It comes up after this a bit. We show all of these, talk about the dreams that they could never fulfill, hold them in context of the two that quit, and then we say, and an eye that can follow the entire stage. Despite that, why are you... And everyone turns as if adding to the question. And then we get decide already from somebody else, but it fits this conversation too. And then that. On one side of of things, Nana and Maya. On the other side of things, the 99th Starlight. And then we frame Maya in the way that we've been framing Nana before. A boundary between them created by the frame itself. Interesting. Interesting. A recording unchanging. The familiar. You ever have a show that really, like, gets to you? And you end up not really wanting to watch anything else at all? And so you just go back to the beginning of that show and rewatch it? And then once you get to the end, you feel the same way, and you just go back to the beginning, and it's like, there's nothing that can fill this void, and I just have to watch it again? Had that happen a couple times, with a couple of different things. Simple Gear gets close. Yeah, I've had that happen a couple of times, with a couple of things. It's comfort, you know? There's a comfort in it. There was what I mean is there's a comfort in watching or seeing or listening to the same thing over and over again. And to the point where it's safe and predictable and you know everything that's going to happen. Or can almost recite every line. I can think of a couple of different examples personally from my life that fit. Yeah, I can think of a couple. The oldest one that comes to mind is Red versus Blue. Oddly, I know that's weird, but hear me out. The Red versus Blue web series was one of the first things that I really found on YouTube. When I eventually got my own computer and like YouTube became a thing, it was one of the first things that I found, and I got really into it. I was pretty young. Didn't really play Halo, but I got super into it. I found it super funny and thought it was the best. Got really into the characters and thought it was great. I still do. I still think Red versus Blue is a fantastic web series. I think it's really good. Definitely falls off in the end, I think, as it got more modern. But the early seasons are brilliant, especially for the time. That kind of content just didn't happen at that quality. It was really good. But I got really into it, and at one point, I had like a little MP3 player. It wasn't an iPod, but I used like a YouTube ripper site. And I ripped the audio from every episode of Red versus Blue, the entire season. Like, the entire first, like, 4 or 5 seasons, which was what was out at the time, right? First 4 or 5 seasons, ripped all of the audio from it, and then I used some shitty program to merge it all together into, like, 1 season-long MP3s. They were, like, an hour plus long. And I would listen to those before going to bed, like, every night. To the point where it just became such a refrain, such a comfortable thing to have on, because it was predictable. Like, I knew every line. I still can probably quote most of the first episode verbatim. Like, the opening sequence. Hey, yeah? You ever wonder why we're here? It's one of life's great mysteries, isn't it? Why are we here? You know? But, yeah, I would listen to it over and over and over, and there was a comfort in that, a deep comfort in that. And then I think like Critical Role became something kind of like that for me in more recent time, partly because it's just something that I can have on in the background while I'm like editing or videos are uploading or whatever, or I can just put it on headphones on my phone and just like walk around or chill outside or play with the cat or whatever, clean up my room, whatever. But now I've watched and rewatched or listened to both campaigns of Critical Role multiple times, just binging, because it's really good to start and it's dazzling to start, you could say, right? It's, oh wow, this is amazing, and that's the initial investment. But then you go back to it because you're like, wow, I want a bit of that again. I want a little piece of that again. I want a little bit of that familiarity. But there's a problem with doing that. There's an unfortunate side effect. And it's the same with almost anything, right? You love ice cream, you eat ice cream all day every day for a week, you're going to fucking hate ice cream. You love Red versus Blue, you listen to the first episode every night when you go to sleep for months. You're going to know it real well. And interestingly, just like the title for what I titled the previous episode, there's an old phrase, familiarity breeds contempt. And it's used for people, right? When you live with somebody and the more familiar you become with them, the more you see their flaws and you see who they really are, and you end up contemptuous toward them. You end up feeling like, oh, this person who doesn't clean their shit up. Ugh, this person who's always annoying, who blasts music while they're in the shower, whatever, right? Whatever it is. Ugh. If you've ever had a roommate, you know exactly what I mean. You could be best friends with the person, and it becomes iffy, right? It becomes a touch and go relationship because you're living together and you get to understand each other. And people are weird and gross, and you don't really want to understand them. Same thing happens with media, though, and with events and with particular things. We get kind of immune to them, get really familiar with them, and we kind of lose that dazzle. It's not so much that the thing changes, it's that our ability to be affected by the same thing over and over changes, right? Like, what's the most hype episode of anime ever? I don't know. I don't know. Fuck it. I was gonna go with Symphogear, but I was then thinking about like, oh, we gotta think of something more broad, much more broad, but I can't. It loses all its value, all its shock value, all of that stuff. Unless you're rewatching it with a different purpose, right? If you're rewatching to deeper analyze, then that's something, right? Look at it from a different perspective. But it loses a lot of its impact on you. And that seems to be what's happening to Banana here. She makes the bargain, she wins to get it, to achieve her goal. She achieves it, and it's nothing like what she wanted, is it? But she can't let go of it. Even on her however many iteration. Just like, you know, if I finish Critical Role an 8th time, there's a pretty good chance that I'll flounder around for a little while and then be like, well, I guess we're going back to episode 1, because I don't know what else to do. Nothing else hits that itch. It doesn't hit that itch anymore, but nothing else is even close. So what do? I don't know. What are you going to do? But when you do end up watching it, it's hollow. Feels empty. And Nana seems to be hollowing out as she goes through these loops. Repeated experience. But beyond that, the lack of change, the lack of dynamic, right? Nothing changes for Nana. Every line that anybody says is predictable. Just like watching your favorite TV show, again, you know every joke, you know every punchline, you can finish people's sentences. They come up with a banana name and she has it, she sees it coming. There's no joy or interest in it. It's not fun. It's just part of the script. And she is the scriptwriter. But she's obsessed with maintaining it the way that it is. It cannot change in any way. And there can never be a next year. Okay, I said that I was going to just sit and think about this episode for a while, and then I just started talking and couldn't stop talking. I still have not addressed most of the things that have occurred in this episode. I need to rewatch it, I think. And then I need to sit and think about it. I'm actually going to, just because this recording is going on long, I'm going to stop the recording and we'll split it up. The video itself will all be one video, but I'm going to stop it so that I've got like some stuff, because I'll probably end up rewatching the whole episode, and that's 20 minutes more recording, which is more disk space. And then I'll think about it for a while and write stuff down, and then we'll go through it. So I'll stop recording and then we'll come back in a minute. I'll see you in a minute to talk through this episode once more. Peace. Okay, I just finished the rewatch, still got thinking to do, for surezies, but just noticed something, and this piqued my interest because somebody mentioned to me in the Discord that, like, hey, you need to be paying attention to the EDs, the fuck, man, they're not the same every time. They're not. This one, in particular, is very different. There's no singer. Nana doesn't sing the song, Fly Me to the Star. It's just the instrumental. It's just the background. She's already there. She doesn't need to be flown to the star. She's fucking there. And All the other girls have like reached down and touched the star at the bottom. She stands on it. She's already there. She's already at the tippy top. Holy shit. Okay, I've got other things, but I gotta put them in order, you know? So I'll be back. All right, I spent some time thinking about this, and I spent a good bit of time trying to determine where I want to start, to start unpacking things. And what I've come to as a decision is similar to the episode with the paper plane. I think there is a scene in this episode that is pretty useful as a jumping off point and indicative of like the whole episode, right? And it's right here. It's this one. And it's an easy one to overlook. And it's right here. Juna puts on new glasses. Quote, they're the same, but apparently they're spanking new. This is it, right here. Nostalgia and the desire to hold on to what is familiar, what is the same. Juna's glasses are new, but the same, and they're important to her. It's important that they're new, that she gets to put them on again, but she doesn't change anything, right? Exactly what Nana ends up doing. She relives the event, but she doesn't recapture the feelings. It's not possible. That's freaking cool. Okay. From there, I want to jump backward and take a step away from the show itself and talk about staff stuff. So, episode director for this one was Akane Tsukamoto, sorry, who also directed, I think, episode 2, I want to say. And was directed by, was storyboarded by Furukawa himself. This makes a lot of sense to me. Director took this episode that is a turning point and decided, yeah, I'm storyboarding this myself, and it shows. The way things are framed and just the vibe of the show is on the money. It's uncomfortable a lot of the time. It's weird and off-putting a little bit a lot of the time. Particular shots that jump out at me as being weird are like, after the festival, when they're at the party, we show the two girls walk together toward the center pillar, right? Turn to address the audience. Stop. We cut away. Again, kind of silencing them. They don't get to appear on screen exactly while they're talking. But then when we do cut back, it's this. We're not framing it for the girls. It's not their celebration. It's the celebration of the event and of the thing, the whole industry, I guess. With the stars, of course, looming above. Very interesting. Okay, and then we go from there to phones. Phones become crucial in the episode. It is through the phone that we see Banana, and the phone acts as a barrier between her eyeline and the camera, and her eyeline and the other characters. When we're viewing them through a lens of a recording. It's not exactly viewing the real thing. It's different, right? There's always a difference when you're recording something, and it's never perfect. It's never right. But the fact that we're recording is important, and the fact that we see all of Nana's interactions with the other cast members through recording is also important. Okay, there's another example of our odd framing. Again, there's no leading room. Why is she framed on the right side of the screen, facing off toward the right side of the screen? This isn't how you do it. If she's on stage right, then she should be facing towards stage left, but she's not. Why not? That's the question. Well, because it's meant to feel weird. All right, confrontations. Multiple shots of her just around and touching base with everybody as she does. And we find that everybody has been experiencing the same thing with Nana. She helps everyone loves her, and that's the thing, right? And then we see this glimmer in her eye, this golden light. That's what she loves. Bingo. This is the moment, right? The presentation was pulled together. The performance was made. It was awesome. It was miraculous that it all came together the way that it did. We're basking in the afterglow of it, and we desperately want to retain that feeling. Desperately. That nostalgia, that familiarity, that something. So we put the glasses on again, right? Okay. We leave her alone. We get all of these massively isolating shots. Warped perspectives, weird, tiny bananas in big frames, right? Empty, except for her. It also gives us the kind of an idea that, like, she's the only one who's really here, who really matters, because she is. It's kind of crazy. Okay, even here, the phone. She says this, which made me think the wrong thing, which is I was thinking she has some amnesia built into it. That's not the case. She just thinks that every moment of this is precious, regardless of how many times it's repeated. Not to go home until I graduate. If you're doing this because you feel sorry for me. Nope, I want to be here. I just want to be here, right? Ah, no. She's yeah, there we go. There, that's where she says it. I just want to be here. Pictures framing. 99 Starlight. This is where she wants to exist. This is the time that she wants to exist. Absolutely. Okay, and we jump back. Freshly minted, brand spanking new. Other new things like new students, things quote unquote changing. For this, they are actually changing for this first time, right? This first iteration. But some people have dropped out. Which means for her, right, they were people who were involved in the previous Starlight's production. So already it's not perfect. It's not exactly the same. She can't hold on to it if they go ahead and time continues to flow. And so we lament that. This isn't what we wanted. This is sad. Well then. We have to move on for the sake of improving our play. Everyone says this kind of same thing. Juna understands it. Karen understands it. Nana does not. Nana doesn't want to improve our play. Because how could we improve it? It was already perfect. But that's an emotional thought, right? That's an emotional feeling buoyed by nostalgia. It's not real. It's not accurate. And it's not rational. But it makes sense in a weird, irrational human way that we don't want to improve it. We want to hold on to it. Yeah, but there's a disconnect between them, again, just like there was between Maya and her as they were talking. With her and Maya, it's a disconnect over motivations, right? Nana is the most talented of them, demonstrably. She beats Maya without even trying, practically. At least that's the vibe that we get, because we don't even see the battle. It doesn't matter. She just bops her. Completely. She doesn't matter. She's the best of them, but she has no motivation to improve for the reasons that top stars are supposed to improve, right? They're supposed to value it on its own. Stage girls are supposed to have something that they all hold dear. Stage girls are supposed to value improving and value the performance itself and improving that performance. But no, not Nana. She doesn't want that. She wants to hold on to what is there already. And so she and Maya clash. Likewise, she doesn't want to improve the performance. It can't be improved in her mind. It's already perfect. So she and Hoshimi can't see eye to eye either. Again, isolating. In the background, kind of pulling strings, you know? Everybody pushing for it, blah, 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 ah ha ha. Yes. And, right, of course, the looming of Top Star and Venus and Maya. And then there are all of these girls. I'd love nothing more than if we could put on the same performance again. But even doing that, that's impossible, right? I'm sure they've experienced, right? There are those who give up, a dream they can never fulfill. All of these things. And you have them, right? Despite that, why are you? And everyone looks, implied looking toward Banana. Almost an accusing look. Despite having the height and the looks and the talent and everything. Despite all of the girls who would kill to be in your position, literally. Despite all of the people who find themselves, like, who have the dream, right? Who have the motivation, who have everything necessary, but don't have that talent, and then have to drop out, are met with despair and anguish. You have all of the gifts, and you don't even care. I will never forgive you. Whoa. She doesn't care about the position. She doesn't care about improving. She doesn't care about standing at the top. She's looking at 99th Starlight. Same kind of conversation, this time over photos. Nostalgia. The framing of this shot almost feels stage-like to me. I don't know why. I think it's something about the corner being there. It's cool. I loved it, of course. Right, we all did. Yay! but nobody really like loves it the way that she does. And we use the same kind of framing trick to show that they're not computing. It's not connecting with her, right? So she says it in the wide. She puts her thought out there. The play we put on for the Seisho Festival, our very own Starlight, I loved it. But it doesn't get through. What she means by I loved it doesn't come through. They all respond, oh, me too. I loved it too. Yeah, me too. But they're not talking to her because they can't understand her. Everybody worked together. It was perfect. And it's the pictures of it, the perfect memory of it, that she's holding on to. Is it impossible to create it? To recreate it? The answer is not whether it's possible, it's whether you would want to. And Karen responds, she wouldn't want to. She wants it to change, right? She wants dynamics. It's a living thing. You can't just make it stagnant. We have to practice more. We have to make it better. And I'm all in for this, right? It's correct. It's perfect. A stage, my very own stage. A thought. And a transition. But to me, that was the perfect Starlight, right? So then we get the white call. This is very interesting. It's also interesting that we are always like changing the aspect ratio when we're looking at Banana's phone. Really, really kind of lets it sink in. There's like a restricted field of view that she has. Her perspective is really restricted, that she only sees what she wants to see and only cares about what she wants to care about. Huh. And in the same way, while the calls to come to the auditions have been black for everyone else, they've been dark and scary and like a scary thing. For her, they're the light at the end of the tunnel. They're the opportunity. Maybe that's why they're white. Okay, so we make it inside, and it is blindingly brilliant and dazzling to the point where it's overwhelming, and it's monochromatic, right? It's yellow. They never really had this kind of a lighting before. Not this stark. Not this crazy. Wakarimasu. Alright, so he says the lines. Same lines. We see some elements of the area that are not the same as they were. This is not the way that it was. This is not the way the audience looked. Right? Those chairs were not that beat up. We see parts of machinery that we haven't seen before. Portions of the stagecraft. The things that will respond to the glimmer of the stage girls, we're told, right? Things that have not happened yet, that are just ready, implying that there's, like, predetermination going on here, which we know there will be, given the script, but implying that that's happened before there's ever been a loop, right? All of these props, like, this was part of Mahiru's, this was part of Maya's, this was part of like, Juna's. There are all of these different things here. The fuck? And then there's the fallen tower buoyed by strings, with the stars at the tip. Very interesting. The path will open. And it's still there, up top. But it's also fallen behind her. Transcend time to shine on. But she doesn't care. She wants to beat time to hold on. It's important. Note the framing of this shot and where Nana is in respect to the pillar. It becomes important a little bit later. Okay, big giraffe casts a big shadow, and this is the look of a person who has bit into the bait. So, she fights, it is over in one shot as far as we're concerned. Boom, done, gone, over. True ability, massive. Doesn't even look at Maya. Just staring upward. Completely blinders on. And it's dazzling to me. Cut you off. Does not care about your opinion at all. Does not care about anything at all. Just reaching it. Desperately. But she can't reach it because you can't recapture things. You can't relive an experience and really recapture the feeling of it. It doesn't work that way. She doesn't care about the position. She cares about the drug. And that's the thing. The dazzle that she experienced that day, on the day of the 99th review, was her first shot of heroin. It was the first one. And she is addicted, and it does not work as well anymore. and her tolerance has grown, and she has to use more and more, but she can't. She can only get the same dose every time. And so it has less and less impact. And everything else has less and less impact too, because she's not alive. She's in a loop. She's not living. She's not changing anything. It can't change. She's better than all of them. She has all of that talent, but she's throwing it away because she doesn't care. She doesn't produce her own glimmer. Actually, I need to go back to Hoshimi's, not Hoshimi, to Mahiru's episode. Give me a sec. Karen. Futaba. Claudine. This one's a little weird because it goes half into fantasy because she fucks with the vision, but we have Karen and Hikari together. I'm gonna count this as Hikari sparkling. So they hold hands, right? And then we insert Mahiru into the position, and we see Karen sparkling, right? I think we can assume that this is Hikari and Karen sparkling together, and Mahiru's just like, I want that to be me, and can't see it, right? Okay, so I'll count that as Hikari. Banana. Okay, this one definitely counts as Hikari and Karen, so we're good on that front. I'll count it. Herself. Okay, so couldn't 100% confirm it, but I had a thought, which was that in the Mahiru episode, the like comedy episode, if you want to call it that, we see a number of the characters framed by sparkles in an important way that like shows that Mahiru has like a sense for being able to see people's talent and sparkle and glimmer. I thought it would be more clear cut, but it's not. In those sequences, we have sparkles clearly coming from Karen, Futaba, Claudine, Hikari, and herself, and Mahiru herself. So 5 out of the 9. We very clearly do not have sparkles over Banana. That would make more sense if we also like had definite sparkles over like Maya and Hoshimi and other people, but we don't. So it's not as clear cut as that, but we definitely don't have them over Banana, and it's also definitely like apparent that she doesn't compete in all of the other matches that are going on at that point. She's outside of the system. Fine. Not as important as I thought it might have been, but that's okay. What I was looking for really was evidence that Nana can't generate her own glimmer because of her obsession with the status quo, with what is previous, what has already happened, you know? But I couldn't really find it, which sucks. But that's okay. We still get the really striking visual of her being completely overwhelmed by the yellow light. Mesmerizing play, all of that jazz. And she is overwhelmed by that glow. Any stage at all. And of course the moment where, yeah, I can't reach the dazzling light. She cannot reach it. And here we are. She makes her wish after winning. There is no tree present. A repeat performance of Starlight. Again, exactly. But something has changed. And it's the way that she speaks. All emotion, all care is gone. This is what makes me think of a drug addict, right? Everything means nothing to her. The world is bland and dull and gray and void. The only thing that lights it up is that former glow, that golden glow. She desperately needs it. Another hit, another hit, another hit. Even when it stops working, even when she stops feeling it, she still wants more. She needs another. She repeats these phrases like they're rote, like they're the script, right? But like she's a terrible actress reading a script for the first time. A glimmer like blazing jewels, happy days that shine like the rainbow. I'm actually putting more emotion into them. Happy days that shine like the rainbow, right? So monotone. There's also almost like a cry in her, in her voice. There's a little bit of cry there. Do you believe that? Or have you just said it so many times that you're convinced? It doesn't matter. The giraffe will oblige, and does so. Position 0. Boom. A notebook. Boom. A script. Boom. Welcome to your loop. Start it for the first time. And so we loop. Starlight for the first time, the reenactment begins. All over again. We will never grow. There is nothing to fear, nothing new, nothing to change. None of this. None of it. And in a way, those people who left, who disappeared, who quit, they're back in it now, right? Nothing changes, nobody leaves, no loss, no grief. But there's the problem, isn't it? She already knows the answers to every question, the punchline to every joke. It's empty. She's playing a role, right? But the role is the role of happy Dai Banana. The role is the role of a girl who cares about this situation, and she does not anymore. That smile is locked on her face now. Now, remember I said, look at the position of her versus this tower? 99 scrawled in giant paint behind her. The tower shadowing her, looming above as though it threatens to crush her. Her smile is still there, but the eyes behind it are almost crying. But on she goes. It's still dazzling. Is it? It is you, again. The lines are the same each time. There's no recognition of having done it multiple times. It's the same demand. Even still. Here's the recognition, though. But very well. I will oblige. This is my purpose. Back you go. Why? Why is this whole thing a thing? And why are you doing this to me? And his answer is, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't matter at all. A stage girl becoming the top star is something important. The chemical reaction caused by the fusion of miracles and glimmer. Eternal shine, a moment's combustion. I want to witness it. So, audience surrogate is Kirin, right? Simultaneously in control and desperate to witness the birth of new talent, which is exactly the case, right? Especially, I could assume, with ongoing Takarazuka review people, the birth of a new top star is probably an awesome thing, right? It's like, oh shit, new person at the top of their game, right? It's like watching somebody new, a rookie win Wimbledon or something, right? It's like, wow, that's the craziest. I want to witness that. Before he said, I want to witness that, I got the full-on Madoka Magica vibes that were like, oh, yes, my species are actually aliens, and we subsist off of the energy created by talented individuals destroying each other. Which is essentially Madoka Magica, right? Like, sorry, spoilers for Madoka Magica, kind of. It's actually, that's the story. Yeah, the idea of, like, an otherworldly entity that manipulates people into conflict for their own gain because they feast upon it, or feast upon strife, is, like, that makes sense. But it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be a little bit less sinister. The giraffe doesn't seem to be sinister, per se. More of an audience surrogate. A thing which exists, which is difficult and complicated and confusing and weird. Okay, but anyway, he wants to witness a stage of destiny that can't be predicted, and that flies in the face of what Dai Banana wants. Because she wants the predictable. She needs it. And in this moment, an interruption arrives. We're not really given a lot of information about this. Hikari just sort of shows up in this world. Like, yeah, she just shows up here, replacing the giraffe. I think the implication is that the giraffe is doing this to fuck with her, and for his own purposes. Like, not necessarily to be antagonistic toward her directly, right? But it seems like the giraffe's motivation is to see a legitimate competition, right? a legitimate thing and to see improvement over time. Watching the same play over and over and stagnate is not fun for him. It doesn't do whatever he needs. So he brings Hikari in to shake things up intentionally, it seems. Allowing the inevitable change to finally occur, and that is exactly what occurs. So Hikari arrives, and we recontextualize her arrival completely, because before we saw it from kind of Karen's perspective, right? Oh shit, Hikari's here. Everything changes. So we wake up on this day. Again, that one frame is really fucking hot. I gotta say it. I can't not say it. It's really attractive. Okay, so moments in time, familiar moments. Things start getting weird, though. And the wheel. The wheel is important. The wheel is very important. Right, yeah. Who is that girl? Who the heck are you? Back to the wheel. What does the wheel represent now? Before it felt like cogs in a machine, right? And we transitioned directly into cogs in a machine. Now it's still that. It still holds that symbolic meaning. It's still a cog in the machine, but now we know what activated it, right? The giraffe put her into play. We think. Put her into play. And now it's time marching toward her. The inevitability of change. You can't hold on to the status quo. You cannot. It doesn't work. But Hikari arrives. This hasn't happened before. This is a loop that is not supposed to be the way that things are. Why do they get shorter and shorter? Is this the count? 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know. Is this the count of loops? Why do they get shorter? I don't know. Because they're blending together? Maybe. So, life goes on. And she's just watching. Most ominous that we could possibly be, going in the deep pink. Boring to have the same performance every time. Wants the unpredictable. But no. My reenactment remains the same. I remain in control. And then there's this great frame, the great sequence that jumps to 24 FPS for the smooth turn. Immediately recognizable as 24. Just because of how smooth it is and how smooth all the shadows change as she turns. And come on. Yeah. Whoop. Very Higurashi is my thought on this. Yeah. Full turn, hold for 2 frames, right? Turn, locked. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 2 on 2s. And then jump to the closer cut. I think I want her for my play now. Oh boy. This also changes some stuff that we've seen before. Hey, you know all those moments where Banana, like, just happened to run into Hikari and happened to have a bunch of food with her that she just happened to be giving to her? Really convenient that she happened to have all that food and know where Hikari was and go there and try and give it to her. Almost like she's trying to get on her good side. It's also interesting. There were 8, right? And there are 8 roles. Perfect. Exactly what's necessary. Now there's a 9th. Hikari's arrival adds an odd person out. Now there's another member, right? That's not the way that Starlight can be. So then Nana has a choice, right? Her choice is to either try to eliminate Hikari so that she can have her 8, then the previous 8 exactly as it was, or she can opt to choose to allow the play to change, to allow a player to change, right? To allow Hikari to kind of take her role, essentially. Step out herself to become a backstage girl, enabling the 8 to continue, while keeping herself in the periphery and maintaining control over the audition process and maintaining control over, like, the script and how things play out, right? So is her plan to shape Hikari into, like, a perfect carbon copy of one of the others so that the play goes off without a hitch in her mind and nothing has changed, even while changing the person playing the person? And if that is the case, how does that play into the idea of trying to maintain the exact same same performance in the real world Takarazuka review when an actress ages out or like leaves or gets married and stops being an actress? Like, it fits, right? She's trying to replace an actor with another actor, and do it without anybody noticing, without changing anything. But then by stepping out, she's also preventing herself from being able to loop again, right? Completely. Isn't she? She is. Because the only way she can loop is if she's performing and competing amongst the 8. If she's backing out and going backstage girl, she's not in the auditions anymore. Which means she can't compete, which means she won't win, which means she won't loop, which means that this iteration, no matter what, things will change. And the loop is broken. It's already broken now that Hikari's here. The problem is, Nana, though she's not evil, right? She's misaligned. And the problem, the big fear, is what the hell is she gonna do to try and keep everything status quo when things are already changing? It's the kind of thing that, like, that you get in characters that are hyper conservative, and I mean politically conservative, and I don't mean that like Republican Democratic, because that's bullshit. It's not the way that those things work. Conservative politics means nothing changes, right? We don't want to change things. We keep the system the way that it is. We conserve, right? It's protective, defensive politics. There's a problem with conservative politics, which is that in a conservative political system, if you're faced with an enemy on the outside that is not a conservative political system, you lose because they innovate and you don't, right? Always, it is a weaker position to defend than it is to attack, right? Part of that is because when you're attacking, when you have the initiative, you get to choose where to strike, and defenders have to stay. Same thing goes for trying to maintain the status quo versus trying to instigate change. The world loves to change. The world is change. Change is everything. Entropy is like the fundamental law of the universe. It's existence. It's everything. Everything changes. Everything moves. Nothing is stagnant. It can't be. So trying to keep things stagnant is always a losing battle. Trying to maintain what you have is always a losing battle. Moving toward something, moving forward, moving upward, looking toward a goal, always is the way you win. Always. If you try to maintain what you have, if you try desperately to hold on, like how many parables and stories and allegories have you seen or read or heard or whatever, where there's a character who obtains great wealth and tries desperately to hold on to it and becomes miserable because of it, right? Kings in fairy tales all the time, right? They make a deal with a fairy or a prince or a devil or something. They gain great power, and then they become jealous of their own power, right? Maintain it, hold on to it, don't grow, don't share. Then they fail, because the hero of the story is the innovator, always, right? That's the way that story thread works, that classic narrative. The person stagnating in the castle is brought down by the young upstart. King Arthur essentially does this, right? He's the noob. He innovates. He grabs the sword, right? And that's his symbol of power and whatnot. But it's the innovation, the change. Let's unite this into one country, right? Let's change things. And then in the Arthurian narrative, Arthur becomes the thing that he hated, right? He becomes like the old king, kind of jealous of his own power, and is then overthrown by the people who by the people who kind of put him there. Caesar did kind of the same thing, right? Sort of, although Caesar kept growing and innovating, so it doesn't quite work. But Caesars in general, if we look at just the idea, like the flow of Roman emperors, the first few did continue to innovate and grow and build out the thing. And there were a couple of other fantastic emperors down the centuries. But once we got into the end game of Rome, the emperors weren't expanding or growing, and part of that is because their empire was too large. It was not manageable, but they weren't expanding and growing anymore. They were trying desperately to maintain and to defend against oncoming threats. innovators, including the Mongols, including the barbarians, right? The barbarians didn't give a fuck about your phalanx formations. They rode around on horses and shot arrows at you. Get fucked, right? They innovated. They tried new things. And the stagnant Roman Empire fell. It happens over and over and over and over and over and over and over in history because it happens over and over and over and over and over in real life. And it happens over and over in fiction because fiction mirrors reality. We have a character who's desperate to hold on to the status quo. It can't be done. It cannot be done. It will slip through her fingers. The problem is, how much will she scratch up when she's grasping out, reaching desperately for it as it slips through her fingers? That's the question. That's the scary. What is Daibanana capable of? At this point, anything. She's a scary person. She's not evil. I don't think she's evil or bad. She is nostalgic and an addict. And addicts hurt people to get their fix. A lot. All the time. Addicts hurt people and they hurt themselves. We've already seen her. She has hurt herself for years of her own life existence, right? We don't know how many years she's been in here, how many loops she's done, but in terms of the time that she spent in this world, it's enough for what looks like an acacia tree to grow to the height of a giraffe and then die. That's a long time. That's decades. Daibanana is no longer a teenager. Daibanana is no longer a student here. Daibanana is no longer almost even human. She is something else. She is different. And judging her by, like, normal morality is not a way to go forward. I mean, judging her by it, sure. Predicting her based on it, not possible. Not possible. She's too twisted. Is she unsalvageable? I don't think so. I think we can save Daibanana. Is she necessarily the antagonist of the story? I don't know. I don't think so. Because she's, again, somebody who has been shaped and caused by the system. This current incarnation of Daibanana is a result, right? It's a result of the system. A result of allowing somebody to get what they desire. It sucks. Oh. Okay, that's what I've got. That's all of it. That's a lot. I know that's a lot. All in all, this episode was fucking banana nice. Absolutely awesome. Just wonderful. Again, there's a really easy connection to draw between this and episode, it was 9 or 10 of Penguindrum, Frozen World. Also because, what's his face? Furukawa? I wrote it down. Furukawa, because he worked on Penguindrum, so it's like, oh yeah, maybe took some tonal cues from that episode. And there are a lot of things that mirror it, like the long hallways disappearing into the distance, lots of frames split down the middle, lots of isolating shots, lots of big areas that are like disappearing into darkness or overblown by light alternately. With the yellow of the stage area being like that, and then it also being just a very personal, kind of intimate sort of episode, through one character's eyes clearly, through their perspective clearly, and having that character go into an ethereal other world where they face down an entity that is clearly powerful, that gives them immense power or some kind of thing, but there's a massive catch to it. I mean, it's very, very much identical to the Sanetoshi Devil's Bargain that happens in Penguindrum. It's very similar to what Hikari not Hikari. Holy shit, what's the actual girl's name in Penguindrum? I don't remember. I'm thinking Hikari, I'm thinking Kimari, I have no idea. Shit, whatever. Himari, there we go. It's very similar. Descend into a weird ethereal place that doesn't make any sense. Get told some bullshit that character repeats. Like, isn't it electrifying? It's almost 1-to-1. Having Kirin just be like, it's dazzling, isn't it? Isn't it electro? It's the same. And then be offered the thing you want most, and find out that it might not be the thing you want most. Yoinks. But be unable to change your mind. And be so twisted by yourself and by the system that you are fucked. Holy crap-a-moly, that's the episode. I think that's all I've got to talk about. I'm sure I missed things. I'm sure I missed plenty. Please let me know. Let me know your thoughts on this episode. I'm super interested. What's the next title? We'll think about that to Where the Light Leads. I have no idea what that's gonna mean. Fuck. I'm expecting Hikari focus. Because we introduced her as the wrinkle in the loop, which is sort of the second reintroduction. We've already dealt with her conflict with Karen, insofar as there was a conflict. We've already dealt with that. We've shown her introduction to the loop. She fucks with Nana, and now we have context for that, right? So now we can have reactions to that, and we can understand Nana's perspective on everything. The entire show changes here because everything that has occurred up to this point has been a loop orchestrated by Nana, and she's trying to do it again. So we have an antagonistic force, potentially antagonistic force, unless you can get convinced otherwise. We might end up fighting her. Might end up with Hikari versus Nana, with Nana trying to remove something of Hikari's identity in order to shape her into a blank slate that will work as a carbon copy to prevent the Starlight from changing. Either way, no matter what happens from here on out, everything's different because we have this alternate perspective and we have just knowledge about the universe here that we absolutely did not have and could not have predicted before. This is awesome. This is a really, really, really cool episode. I think it's a great way to do the Groundhog reveal. There's just enough beforehand to hint you into it, to make you start thinking about it, and also enough to make you doubt those thoughts, or at least for me, that's how I experienced it. Because, like, the stinger at the end, there was so much something, there was weight to the lines, and we found out what it was, you know? That line where she says something about this time is wrong, there's something weird about the phrasing there, and we talked about it last time but couldn't figure out what the hell it was. There's some connection between her and the giraffe. That doesn't seem to be a thing, but you know, we fumbled a little bit. We kind of shotgunned our predictions, and that's fair. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna take credit for getting this because I didn't. I shotgunned my predictions. I went through and I was like, here's all the information we have. Here are all of the story threads that I can think of possibly writing for this. And we got a couple of them. Neat. We kind of hit the target, but with a wide shotgun. So like, whatever. Still, holy crap! What a twist. What a twist. I'm fascinated. I want more. This was very good. I like it a lot. That's it. Me, Teeaboo. This review Starlight. Bana fucking nice, bro. We're gonna stop there. I'll see you next week. Peace.